Right. Hello! This is Homeschooling Through Difficult Phases in Life. It's a collaboration hosted by Yasmin from Mommy on the Move. I've collabed with her before, so you might already know about her. But I'm going to link her channel below in the playlist when I get it. I'm going to have to do this stood up because the baby's decided that he's going through a difficult phase this morning. So he needs to be on me and I need to jiggle a bit. So I do apologise. Hang on, wait there. I'll put light on. I don't know if that makes a difference. Anyway, so homeschooling through difficult phases in life. I signed up to do this collab and then I unsigned up because I thought I'm having a bad time at the minute. I don't know what I'm going to say. You know, all the irony. But then I was talking to Rosalind UK, who's a friend of mine. She's at homeschooling in Croatia and she's doing it. And she's just going over COVID. She's just going over a bad time. And I thought, well, I'll let it go. I'll film something. If it's rubbish, I'll delete it. If it's not, I'll join in. So if you're seeing this, I didn't delete it. So the advice I'm going to give you for homeschooling through difficult phases of life, you're going to think it's kind of general, but that's for two reasons. One, it's because the difficult phase in life can be anything from just feeling down because it hasn't stopped raining, which is what was up with me, to a new baby, to illness, injury, and then way up to grief. So, you know, different levels of it. Plus, I can give you as much advice as you want, but you know your family, you know your kids, you know what's going to work best, you know how to interpret the advice so it services you the best. For example, my husband's father died when the husband and his brother were little. They weren't allowed to the funeral because there was kids, and the parent and his mother and other relations thought that was for the best. They're both in their 40s now, and they both really resent the fact that they didn't go to their father's funeral and didn't get to say goodbye. So, and similarly, when my granddad died, me and my brother went to school the next day. I was fine, completely fine. My brother cried and got sent home. So that shows that different kids need different things, and sometimes what you think, sometimes it's hard to know what to do for the best, but ultimately you're the best person to decide what to do for the best. So I can't give you an exact list of things to do. I'm just giving you general advice. The first thing I'm going to say is, life is not linear. It's not like that. And if you're preparing your children for life through homeschooling, you're not compartmentalising education from life like they do at school. Life is learning. They're going to have to learn at some point that life is not linear. It goes like that. There's highs and lows. And the most important part of homeschool is home. And you are in this together. You're into their education together. You're in life together. I mean, what level you involve kids or tell them how you're suffering if something happens is up to you. But you cannot hide things from kids if you're homeschooling. And I don't think you should hide things from kids anyway. That's how they learn. It's like, whenever I get pregnant, some people keep it a secret till the 12-week scan to make sure everything's okay. I tell my kids I'm pregnant because, say at that 12-week scan, there's something wrong with the baby. I'm not going to be able to hide it from them. That you know, there's something. And then we work through it together. I wouldn't traumatise them or anything like that, but we work through it together. And the most important part of your child's education is their emotional intelligence. That's why I always say, like, you know, don't force academics on them until they're ready, because their emotional intelligence is more important than anything else, especially at a young age. And if you can show them that this is how we get through rough times, or life's like that, or, you know, when you're down, get up and fight, then that's what you do. And so my advice is, one, you're doing your best, don't beat yourself up, because that's just going to make it worse. Two, do something you all enjoy, something that's going to bring ease things a little, whether that's going out for a walk, watching a film, just doing things you enjoy together. 3, simplify things. If you're going for a bad time, no matter what that is, whether it's a new baby or grief, then don't think we have got to stick to a strict homeschool schedule. We've got to get his heads down, we've got to keep going, because if we don't keep going, then that shows weakness, and now we're crumbling apart and all the rest of it. Just simplify it. Just do what you need to, what you have to, just do what's easiest to do and what you need to do. Or things that count as education but they're not stressful, like nature walks and reading books and conversation. You don't have to tackle that really hard algebra just now while you're going for a bad time. And remember that a difficult phase in life is exactly that. It's a phase. It will be gone eventually. It will. And I think we don't take into account how, I can't speak today. We don't give kids enough credit for how much they can understand things. And how much they can process things. You don't have to hide everything from them. However, if you're monumentally distressed and you feel like you just cannot, there is nothing wrong with asking for help or distracting the kids somehow so you can go off and fall apart for a little bit. For example, I can't remember her name, Christine or something. There was a blogger a couple of years ago, and she did this video about when she was going for her first divorce. She was so depressed and she felt really down, and she had to go and see this counsellor. And she was saying, sometimes I put the kids in front of the telly, in front of cartoons, and just go and cry for an hour sometimes. Just go and cry on my own for an hour sometimes. And she felt really bad about it, like she was a really bad mother. And the counsellor switched it the other way and said, what a good mother you are, that you didn't want your kids to see you that distressed. What a good mother you are. Sorry. What a good mother you are that you made sure that they was happy and safe and content while you went off and did that. So sometimes it's perspective. You're doing the best you can. And I tell you something else as well. This is really personal. I've never told anybody this. January 2020, something really bad happened, which I still can't talk about. And I was so distressed it resulted in a miscarriage. I can't prove that, but that's what I believe. Anyway, I have told that bit to people before. This is a bit I've never told anyone before. There was one day I just couldn't. I'd hit rock bottom basically. There was one day where I just could not be in the house a second longer. The husband was here, and I just went. Never done that before. Never do it again. But I just went, and it was dark, and I went to knock on a friend's door and she wasn't in. And I was standing by the road, and it was dark, and the cars were going past, and there was these headlights on this car, and I wouldn't have done it, so don't think I would not have done it, but for a split second I thought, how easy would it be to just step out in front of that car? And I didn't. I wouldn't have done, so don't think I wouldn't have done, but the thing that made me snap out of it was my kids. And I went to a different friend's door, went in, I had half an hour to cool down, chill out, come home to my kids, and I've never hit that rock bottom again. And sorry, I'm getting on, it's ridiculous. I don't get a lot of sleep, I've got a baby. So your kids will pull you through it. They really will. And I wouldn't do this, but if things are monumentally bad, some people put their kids in school for a little bit and take them back out. So that works for some people. It wouldn't work for me, because I personally think that your kids pull you through. You all need to be together, even if it's upsetting. If you're going for a really bad time, you all need to be together to get through it, because that really reinforces in children that you are a family and you can get through things together. But also I think that might add distress to kids, that something bad's happened, you're going through something awful, then all of a sudden they're shoved off to school, and then they get used to that, and all of a sudden they're back again. So for me that's not an option, but I'm just saying that is an option. So yeah, really general advice, but the number one piece of advice I've already said, but it's true, is that it is, whatever is happening, it will pass. This too will pass. You know, he's all happy now, look. I think it's going to be a baby wearing day. Anywho, look in the playlist, my loves. There might be some mums who are a bit more sane than I am. Oh, if you're new, should have said this at the beginning. If you're new here, my name's Victoria. I'm a homeschooling mum of 5 in England. Please subscribe, it's free, my loves. Right, ta-ta.